Join us,
Simply Sojourners,
on this adventure
walking with the Lord
while traveling in our trailer. You're silly. Push your face on there. You're silly.
So I thought I'd make a video cooking in the RV to show you what it's like. It's not that different from cooking in an apartment, but it kind of is different. So we have this 3 burner stove, and you have to turn it on like this, and you can hear it that it's on. Sorry about the paper towels. And then you have to light it. There you go. So that's how you turn it on. And I'm gonna turn it off for now to get my stuff ready to cook. So I'm gonna make Matthew some dinner. I already ate, but I have a little bit of energy right now. So I'm gonna try to cook. Let me see if I can. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so my neighbor in the RV park actually gave us this bag of frozen vegetables. So I'm gonna make a stir fry for Matthew, eggs and vegetables. Oh snap! Oh. Okay, well. I opened that everywhere. Someone just woke up. Someone just woke. Say hi, Maddie. Night, Simon. Okay. So I'm gonna try to keep it right there so you can see what I'm doing. So again, first you light the stove. Okay, and then this stove runs super hot. So I have to like open the windows and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of annoying because I have to like open the windows. I have to like, it's just crazy. So first I'm gonna spray the pan. I got this coconut oil from Dollar Tree. It works pretty good. Then I'm gonna take like a handful of veggies. This is for my son, so he's not gonna eat that much. Okay. Okay. So while that is cooking, I'm gonna saute this. So you can see what I'm cooking, just some veggies. You almost ready to eat? So some veggies. These are like onions and peppers. It was so nice of him to give us this, so it's good. Easy to cook. Okay. And if you can tell, I don't know if you can see this, I have the flame really low. And that's only on 2. Look how high it is. That's the one thing I don't like about the stove, is that it runs really high. Don't burn anything. It sounds like I do because it runs so high. Okay. Let's have like chunks of pepper. Egg. And there you have it, some eggs and peppers. I showed the full process just so you can see that it's the same, but it is different a little bit just because it runs off propane, and also it is a lot hotter in my opinion than a regular gas stove. But there you go, how to cook in a RV stove. Alright, bye. Matthew, you tell the cats. You say, stop. Wow. Say, get. Say, get. Wow. Stop.
Hey, Simply Sojourners. So, it is 9:44 in the morning on a Thursday, and this makes yesterday actually makes 1 full week that we've been full-time RV in our camper here. And so Shantae asked me to do a video about 4 things I've learned or gained during this experience, which was great because I wanted to do a video anyway, marking our first week here, and so I didn't know that that's what this video was for, so it works out. So I was thinking a little bit about it last night, and while I was working, and I would say some things that I've learned this first week is that you could do a lot with a tiny space. You really can. When we first saw this trailer and were inside, I remember that it felt pretty small. I know we originally wanted one with a slide out because it would give us more room, and especially Matthew, more room to crawl around and play. But if you've been following our journey so far, you can see we made some adjustments. We took out the dinette and just kept a small part of it for storage and one of the benches, but really opened the space up, and I feel like it made the cats feel at home, and also Matthew, and I feel like we're already doing a lot with a little space. Something else I've learned is that you really don't need much to be able to live, you know. Like really, we have our some stuff from our apartment. I got my coffee pot because I love coffee every day. I almost left that, and then I rethought it, and because I have the pour over coffee as well. But I thought, you know, it's such a small thing to have something that I enjoy, and I like not having a lot, but having the things that that you use on a daily basis that actually matter to you, um, makes it a lot more comfortable. Having our own bed, bringing our mattress here was a big help, because that that first night or two with the mattress that was in here, which was barely a mattress, I think it was half the thickness of our mattress now. It would just reminded me of times where I've slept on a mat and was not comfortable. Might as well sleep on the floor at that point. And it just feels so good to have something that we could call ours. You know, this trailer is not obviously not a mansion. That's another thing I learned is that it's important to have something that fits, you know, who you are and your lifestyle. Like for me personally, and I know Shantae, like we don't like to be inside all too often. So you know, mostly when we're inside, we're either cooking and eating or sleeping. So this space is perfect for that, and it's a lot more manageable because me personally, like I like to have everything to be clean and organized, and it's a lot easier to manage in a tiny space. You know, when we have a few dishes in the sink, which is hardly a sink, maybe half sink, and you know, when we have some clothes or some Matthew has his toys out, it's a lot easier to manage and put away instead of getting overwhelmed, because we could just look around and think, okay, it's just this space. Like it's not like out of hand where, you know, it's gonna take us a whole day. Another thing I've learned is that it seems like Shantae still likes me because we've been in a smaller space. We can't run now, but we can go outdoors. Intense fellowship, as our pastor would call it. As our pastor calls it, from Elizabeth. So, you know, there's always the chance to, you know what, if we're getting a little frustrated or overwhelmed or anything, we could just go outside, and we have this beautiful area. There's a pond within 2 minutes walking where we can go and, you know, unwind. And our cats seem to love it. Our cats, two of them at least, have been going outside, and Simon is still a little reluctant to try, but he's been going by the door and putting his head out a little bit, so he seems interested. I don't know if they're staring at me or what's going on outside the window behind me. Probably the second one. But yeah, overall it's been a good experience, I would say. So another thing I wanted to share, going back to my first statement, was how I said that I wasn't sure if it would be a big enough space, but I realized that for us specifically with a 1-year-old baby and 3 cats, it's really coming together. Like we really, once we got in here, it was so much easier to figure out, okay, where we're gonna put the litter box. Like we found a perfect spot for that. You know, how we're gonna feed them and how we're gonna have room to eat. We managed to find some folding tray tables for free that a couple had just put out, I believe when we were coming from church, right? So overall statement and what I want to communicate in this video is that, you know, you don't need a lot to do a lot. Similar to a phrase Shantae always says, you don't need to do a lot to do a lot. But it's really true. Like once we really took the things that we felt like we needed or that were important to us and brought it here, and we left behind and gave away a lot of stuff that we thought we needed and we're holding on to but really didn't need. And it's really true, you know. And I feel like the Bible says it perfectly. And let me just say this, for those of you who are following our journey and who tune out, who might tune out as soon as we say, you know, the Bible says, just stick around, because you got to ask yourself, if it's for intellectual reasons, if it's really true that you're questioning it intellectually, then you might want to hear what it says to be able to question what the Bible says, and really examine it for yourself. Reasoning for sharing with you our faith on this journey of Simply Sojourning is because we've been examining it ourselves, and obviously we want to share with you the truth that we found, because, you know, we love you guys, and we want to share what gives us hope every day, and where our faith is rooted in. So, all that being said, just stick around, don't tune out as soon as we say the Bible says, please, for those reasons. And what I wanted to share with you is from 1 Timothy chapter 6. Just communicates this truth perfectly. It says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content." That's 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 through 8. So I just wanted to share that because I believe it says it perfectly, that, you know, if we have food and clothing, we'll be content. And sometimes we're not always living by that truth, right? As people, we tend to cling to things sometimes. We tend to even as far as go as far as like finding purpose and fulfillment in the things of this world, but they could be so easily taken from us. So it's good to know that, and to be prepared, and to just have this simple life of being able to live tiny and do it in a big way. As you can see, Matthew is a tiny person, but he's a big person to us, right? So sort of the same thing with this life is, it's a tiny life, but it's a big life. So that's what I've gotten out of this first week of full-time RV living, and just living simple.
Hey guys, so Shantae again. So I just wanted to make this video about what I've learned or gained from this experience this last week. So the first thing I learned was that you really need to be a team. Like, me and Josh have had our fair share of disagreements this week, or how he calls it,
Intense fellowship?
Intense fellowship, yeah. So it's been a little bit rough, because sometimes when we are very stressed, we tend to bicker, you know. But I've learned through this experience that working together is more important. You want to show what he's doing?
Are you thirsty over there?
I think he's thirsty. Oh. So I learned that working together is really key to this lifestyle. Like, even if you get into a disagreement, apologize quickly and mean it, and just move forward. Works better when you remind yourself and think that we are a team. So that's the first thing I learned. The second thing that I've learned is that you don't need a lot of things to make you happy. You know, I kind of was, I wouldn't say I was a hoarder, but kind of like a pack rat when it came to sentimental things. I have a lot of birthday cards from over the years, and I'm already 27, so imagine how many birthday cards I've saved, you know, and things like that. And I just realized that sometimes you have to let things go in order to let God make room for better things, you know, and even not material things, but better memories, better experiences, you know. that's the goal of why we follow Jesus. It's not to gain anything. But when you honor him, he honors you, you know? So it's a blessing to be able to have so little and be so happy, you know? The third thing I learned is that my son doesn't need a lot for him to be happy. I mean, I was very scared. Like, you can ask Josh. I was literally crying in fear the week before we moved here because I was so scared that our choice of living tiny was going to affect Matthew negatively. But it hasn't. I mean, if anything, he's happier. He's sleeping better. He's going outside like every day. Even just like when we cuddle in bed together, me and Matthew, he is so content being close to me. I feel like I pay him more attention now than when we were in our big apartment. The other thing that I wanted to get at was that, like, when it comes to your kids, like, you might think that you're taking away from their life by living tiny, but really you're not. I mean, the value of what you get to teach them when you're on your own is astronomical. I mean, you get to experience your kids in such an intimate and big way, you know. We get to spend so much more time together now than we did in our big apartment. So that's something that I've gained. And the last thing is that I've really been able to spend time with God in this experience, whereas at home I wasn't. That was like not something I was doing regularly, but I've gotten away and been able to read my Bible or had more time to read because there's less for me to stress out about. I've been able to keep this this trailer, a lot cleaner than our apartment. I mean, that was really difficult for me. I suffer from ADHD, and like, having things organized is very hard. But with this small space, I know I can tackle it. I mean, yesterday I cleaned the entire thing in less than like 20 minutes. So that felt really good. What I love about this lifestyle is just the simplicity. I mean, I don't know, just being together and not having to worry much about our house, you know? I mean, yeah, we have to worry about where we park it, but it's not really going anywhere, you know, like, we're living in it, and that's a great thing. And I think just even starting this YouTube channel has been a real encouragement to me and to Josh. Like, we enjoy sharing our life and our experiences, so that's something that I've also gained. So I guess there's a bunch of stuff I've gained this last week. My prayer for us and this journey is that we just experience God in a new way. That we what is he doing?
He was pulling his hair. Sorry.
That we experience God in a new way, and that we get to be close to one another in a new way. So I think that's what I've gained and my experience.
So that's our first week of Simply Sojourning. I hope you continue to follow us on this journey. Thanks.
Matthew, oh God, oh no. I got that on camera.
He's just
I
yell at her. Say, why would you film that?
Flesh, take the truth and pass it on. See, I'm just grateful for the one who's standing next to me. And if that's you, man, I'm just glad you see the best in me. See, I got no time for the envy or that jealousy. Focus on the future, man, prepare for what's ahead of me. Yo, full of joy every day, feeling like my B-day. Bumping Kingdom music while we riding down the freeway. Give me more, someone tell the DJ. They just dropped that Remnant album, please keep this on repeat. Step outside, man, in my KMS lines. Everyone know, man,